Hello and welcome to another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Tune in weekly as Donnie and David discuss all things pyro, from the business aspect of the industry to technical tips and mesmerizing pyro designs. On Pyro Unleashed, we invite cutting-edge experts to the podcast to discuss their role in making this industry a success. So, sit back and unleash your inner pyro with us.
All right, here we are, Donnie. Episode number 8. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. Been a busy week or two, I think, for all of us. So yeah, been going good.
Yeah, really busy.
Yeah.
Yep, gearing up for Cobra-Con. Yeah, lots of scripting, lots of labeling, lots of matching. Fingers hurt.
Yeah, I'm kind of wrapping up some scripting for the club shoot, and we've been doing some home remodeling and stuff. So it's a lot busy life.
Busy.
And so week number 8, I got Muxboard again with us this week. We're going to connect more e-matches and less time with Muxboard. Whether you're using traditional or quick plug e-matches, Muxboard offers an alternative to standard slats on the market. Customize your firing system and work smarter with slats, breakout boards, and conversion kits from muxboard.com. That's MUUXBRD.com to improve your workflow and get the most out of your firing system. All right, and I want to thank CJ there again for continuing the sponsorship for us here for the first half of the season, and it's been good. I know he's gotten some feedback, I think, from some listeners out there and gotten some orders, and so good this has been working out.
Yeah, he said he's gotten quite a few, so everybody that has supported him, really thank you so much. Even, from the bottom of my heart, like, I really appreciate the support for mentioning our name and helping CJ. And everybody, you guys are getting those boards and using them for your shows, or maybe you haven't used them yet. You're getting ready to use them for the 4th. Use them well. Keep them clean, and they'll treat you for a very, very long time. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, nice and durable and good boards.
That they are. All right. Well, yeah. Let's see. Let's talk about last week's episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode last week.
It was really good. Yeah, I had some really good views on that. Really good listens. I appreciate all the listens, the feedback. Appreciate Cobra Zach and Scott again for coming on, talking about Cobra-Con, talking about the future of Cobra, talking about the TV show. All really good information coming from Cobra. And again, if you're going to Cobra-Con, look forward to seeing you. Did want to say, if you're going to be going to Cobra-Con, our next sponsor is actually going to be Dominator. So if you're coming to Cobra-Con, the first 5 people that see me at Cobra-Con come up to me and tell me that you really like the podcast and ask for some swag, and I will have some brand new Dominator swag for you. These are hot off the press. I actually have never seen these shirts yet. So really looking forward to getting them and getting to connect with some people at Cobra-Con. I should also have some other swag. I'll have some cards. I'll have some stickers for everybody. So really looking forward to that and getting to hang out with everybody. It's been way too long since I've seen Pyro Buddies. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, the Pyro Unleashed swag is coming. We got some stuff.
It is coming.
Some stuff coming. So yeah,
looking forward to it. Some slowly trickling in.
Some goodies we'll be able to start handing out at some of the events we're going to be at. But yeah, kind of touched on last week with Cobra and stuff. One of the things that really intrigued me was the firmware 7 and firmware 7 and the I believe they mentioned unlimited mods and unlimited queues, and so very intriguing to see how that works, and I could probably see a use for that in a future show. So
I'll be honest, like, I'm really excited for the 18R3. Like, I'm super excited to see the unveiling
I
at
mean, we
Cobra-Con.
haven't seen. I'm just spitballing here. I'm assuming there's probably going to be some type of LCD screen on it. I would imagine to display some stuff. I would assume. I haven't seen anything. I have no inside stuff, so I'm just kind of just guessing. But I would assume they're going to add probably some type of readout screen to it. I would assume probably some improved functionality. I would imagine.
Yeah, I think I was here talking to somebody, and it was mentioned whether or not this is true or not. Some color changing LEDs, so you can change the colors of the LEDs
I know
potentially.
that's always been something big,
Um,
especially for colorblind people. The red,
yeah, for the colorblind brothers
red's a problem.
shout out AJ. Yeah, you don't know which cues you fired. It's like red or green. Well, let's turn this to blue and green or something, right? So yeah, so once again, I appreciate everybody coming and joining Discord. Really good to have everybody. We're really getting quite a bit of chatter going on in there. Um, Once again, if you have not joined Discord, please do. At the bottom of this episode, we will put a link to um, our Discord channel. Really looking forward to having everybody on there. We're just really just hanging out, kind of discussing the episodes, what you liked about them, again, who you want to come on. Yeah, what else, Donnie?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just
just a
just
number of
some
things, right?
random chat stuff over there. I mean, there was some pretty good discussion over there going on today and other days, and so I know we're getting a lot of feedback, like you mentioned, about some ideas for topics, and we're actually going to touch probably on a few of those topics today. But yeah, it's good. It's good to kind of meet some people you don't normally talk to, and get an opportunity to kind of interact with other pyros out there that we've never met before. And so Discord's it's kind of that
Right. Yeah, I
melting
mean,
pot where you
because
can kind of mesh with people a little bit. And a little bit more instant feedback versus Facebook. Here's a post, you wait till you get notified. Here's a post. It's kind of a slower interaction where this is more
right.
live, like you're texting. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really nice too. Like, I mean, it's kind of keeping your pyro juices flowing all year round, hanging out with your buddies. Keeping in touch with them. I mean, there's a lot of pros, and
And and
I
and,
don't know. I'm not really seeing too many cons at all
and
to
we
it
can
yet.
say the word firework over here and we don't get banned.
Exactly, exactly. Unlike that Facebook page,
Yeah, I had a
site, app,
yeah, we
whatever.
had a club social last night, and we actually was talking about the Pyro U Facebook page and how large it is, and if it would even be viable or even a possibility to bring something like that into Discord, and the ability to manage 10,000 people. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Now you bring that up, that's really intriguing because, I mean, yeah, that's a lot of people. Um, and if you don't have notifications turned off, it's bing, 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 bing. It's going to be blowing your phone up, which I mean doesn't bother me, but there are people out there that would. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know that
Um,
I think ours defaults to where notifications, I think, are off. You have to turn them on, I think, for the certain stuff. And so you can kind of pick and choose what you want to get notified of. I mean, I'm in a couple of Discord servers that have 10,000 people in them. But I obviously keep the notifications turned off because I don't want, I pop in when I feel like it because there's a lot of people and there's a lot of nonsense and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it would be kind of interesting to see something like that. I mean, um, Discord, you can kind of mesh that forum look where you can kind of have the forum with the threads that a lot of people like with just the open dialogue that you can have in just the threads of texting back and forth essentially. So you can kind of bridge two different gaps a little bit I can see there, but
yeah, and I think it actually is better because you'd be able to have like live voice conversations. Like you could hang out and chat, like literally, just having a discussion face to face,
oh
essentially.
yeah, and
Um,
I know over in the K Cap one, um, we spend a lot of time in the voice chats. I mean, we get in there and hang out, and we'll just play games in there sometimes, or sometimes we'll go in there and just talk about shows. Have a show up, somebody be scripting a show, and or they'll be showing some stuff they're working on, and some opportunities there to just kind of hang out, like I said, and have those voice chats with people, screen share. You can video people with people in there, and you can have a good time, play some games. So, yeah, provides multiple mediums for people to interact with each other.
Yeah, I know. I was where was I yesterday? I was at a buddy's house and he was working on some stuff, pyro related, and it was just much easier for him to send over um, a finale script on Discord than chat or text or messenger. Like it was just like instant. So, um,
I
you
did
know,
I did a lot. I'll take my Finale file and I'll just drop it in a Discord chat and just pass it to somebody else to kind of they can download it and open it up, and simple as that. From the computer, it's really easy to do. So yeah, definitely. If you guys are interested, hop on over there and join us and chat it up with some of the people over there. There's a lot of K-Cap people over there, so we need some more. We need some more non-cap K-Cap people to kind of thin the herd out a little bit. Yes,
non-cap K
yeah,
people.
non K-Cap people to thin the herd a little bit, maybe.
Thin the herd. Yeah. Well, Pyro Jam just released their 3 entries. Once you guys hear this, it'll be almost a week ago. But for us, it was
Yeah,
today.
hot off the
I know we
presses.
both hot off the press. Both three are just wow. Yeah, wow. Um, I do not want to be one of those judges. That ouch. I know. Once it goes, once they do the fireworks, it's the crowd that judges. But picking from the entries, I couldn't even imagine. I know, I know a couple people that entered, and they're not on this list. And knowing what they did, yeah, it was a hard competition. I couldn't even imagine having to judge this. I mean, really.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
yeah. These shows are all really incredible shows. It's crazy when you open something like this up to the international market of scripters to really get to see kind of what's out there. I mean, a lot of us are used to um, in person. A lot of times, you're used to what Skywars has, right? And it's mostly just your U.S. based people. But when you open up a show like this to international, you get to kind of see how people script in other parts of the world and how that comes together and their music choices. And it really kind of comes together in a different aspect. And they are all really great shows, I think.
yeah, yeah. So, looking here, the top 3 entries for this year. We have again Patrick Sheeter. I hope I'm not misspelling that, from U.S. I believe he did. He actually was the U.S. competitor last year. And then we have Euros Petrovic from Serbia. Watched that one. That one was cool. I really like watching that one. And then I guess I kind of will give my opinion on it. I watched Nick Archer from the UK. I have to say that's probably my favorite out of all 3 videos so far. So I don't. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. What did you think?
yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think Nick Archer's show is really cool. Patrick, I think he did a great job with the opening monologue. That they really kind of brought into it, and then um, the music kind of sustained there for a while. And I think that one did kind of, I think maybe kind of fall off for me personally a little bit as it
Just a
kind
little
of went
bit.
on.
Yeah, I will agree with you. Just a hair.
I
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan though of songs that have words in them when I'm shooting pyro musicals, and so if you just have just instrumental music in your entire show, I'm probably going to fall off a little bit, just how I prefer my shows. But
Yeah.
uh,
I mean, he hit it hard at the
it
end.
did,
I mean,
yeah.
I will say that. Like, it was really, really good at the end. Um, so I guess that kind of brings me up to a question. Why is that? Like, why do you? Because I mean, personally, at Sky Wars last year, I did use some music. I don't think it was lyrics. Yeah, there was some songs that didn't have lyrics. Um, do you like to follow the
I
lyrics
I
more,
I do
or
I
do you
do.
follow the
No,
music?
I'm more of I want to be able to connect with the music, and I think and be able to feel the emotions of I think the like the words and the lyrics of the song versus just the music, because not everybody I think knows instrumental music. So there's a lot of instrumental music that plays out there, and I have never heard of. I have it doesn't connect with me because maybe I haven't heard it or I haven't heard it that way, and so I don't feel that connection. Where if it's a normal song with the lyrics and you've probably heard that song before, I feel like I connect more with the music and with the song, and I just think there's so much you can do with choreographing to the words of a song, opposite of the music of the song. Like you could easily choreograph to the beats of a song, but being able to also have the lyrics to also use as connection points and to hit points is I think is also part of it as well.
Yeah. It's weird because I think I bounce back and forth just depending on what is more predominant in the song. And even times that there are lyrics in the song, you can tell that they wanted the music to be more predominant. So I try and follow what my ear hears first, and then I'll script to that. Because 9 times out of 10, if I'm picking that up first, then somebody else is too. And a lot of times the music is designed that way, so you purposefully pick that up, where the lyrics are not always at the forefront of hearing what you're listening
Yeah,
to.
and I enjoy songs that have I think would say both, where you have the lyrical piece of it, and then maybe you have a spot in the middle where it's just just the music kind of in the middle that you can kind of do some different things with, and then maybe the song finishes out with some more lyrics or something that singing. And so yeah, I just connect more that way. I think that's really what connected me. I think a lot more with Nick Archer. I loved how he blended that music track together with the lyrics and the music and stuff. And so that one I just really connected with a lot more.
Yeah. So what did you think about the one from Serbia?
I definitely enjoyed the natural Serbian music that he opened up there with. I think
Yeah, no, it was beautiful.
I love being able to
I love keeping tradition.
and be able to because that's obviously the music that he probably uses normally for a show, and that's what he's going to script with. And I think we have always told other people who have on the show, maybe have questions about scripting, stick with who you are, like script with who you are. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's exactly what I think he did. Euros is, he did something that was native and natural to Serbian to honor his country. And I think it was beautiful with the music of it. So I think it looked really good.
Kudos to him for doing that. Really, I mean, it's kind of weird. I know it's kind of off topic, but I've been watching some um, of The Voice, and there's been some people from Hawaii on there, and um, the fact that they're keeping, true Hawaiian inspiration, the aloha spirit in their singing, just yeah, it's impressive. I love it. Being that I have some um, Native American in me, like I like to keep that tradition sometimes just alive just as much as anything else that I do on a daily basis.
Yeah,
So
and it,
really do appreciate
yeah,
that.
in a competition like Pirates, like you said, where the audience is the ones voting on it, um, you tend to want to script more towards the audience, right? Because you want them to vote for you. You want them to have something that they can connect with. And so for Euros to basically say, I'm doing my own thing anyway, regardless of that, and just hoping the audience does connect with his culture's music and that theme. I think we'll kind of see how well he was able to kind of combine the music and the fireworks together if he can get everybody to connect and fall in love with that.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm excited to see it all play out. Hopefully, I'll be able to go and see it live. I know we were just talking off air a little bit. I think we both are really hoping we can get out there. But for those of you that don't know, that is August 24th. Am
Yeah,
I
it was
correct?
24th. Yeah, that's what I said in the email.
August 24th. So
Yeah, it's kind of that time period where you got PGI and then you got a lot of other events going on, and then you got Sky
yeah,
Wars right after that, and an
yeah,
awful lot of
yeah.
traveling for back and forth. Yeah,
NFA,
so
yeah, APA, all that. Yeah, just absolutely
yeah,
crazy.
it's tough to kind of do
I
those cross
know.
country travels back to back like that.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, because everybody thinks like, oh, it's the 4th of July, fireworks are done. Like, honestly, that's probably. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the slowest time of the year. Don't quote me on that. But like the weeks, the 2 or 2.5 months after the 4th are honestly some of the busiest times that you'll ever have, because it's a lot of times it's come home, you're home with your family for 2 days or 3 days, and you're jumping in another vehicle and you're heading out to somewhere else loaded, maybe with a semi or a box truck, and you're pushing sales at another event. And it's, yeah, if you're a family person, it's rough. Yeah, it's really rough.
Yeah,
But
that's the point of the year, obviously, where it's more tailored around, your designers and your conventions and stuff like that. Where Fourth of July is very much consumer based. I mean, it's you're focused around making money in the Fourth of July, and that's your main focus. Where th- yeah, these 2 months in the fall is more about the artistic and the creativity of fireworks, and to be able to showcase that off and to share that with people, and that's yeah, that's the nice part about it for the people in the industry is we get to experience some of that stuff.
yeah, I'm not sure if I enjoy the week of the fourth more or if I enjoy going to all these conventions more. Like, I think they both have their
I
pros.
I I have really kind of fallen in love with a lot of these different conventions and these different events. Um, I've always done a Fourth of July show, personal show here in the past, and I kind of got away from that last year and worked a couple of shows. I'm doing the same thing this year. I'm actually running a couple of shoots on the third and the fourth, and doing more business aspects of stuff on the Fourth of July versus the fun side. And now,
Do you think that was partially because you were trying to fund Sky Wars
no,
then, or do you think it
I
was
think
just
it's
kind
just
of
the change of where I'm at now in the pyro journey. Yeah, I'm more focused on being able to do these larger scale shows in front of more people. PGI, Sky Wars, club events.
do you feel like you're enjoying the fact that you're kind of taking another leap in the pyro realm and doing something that maybe the general consumer would consider like
Oh yeah,
non-traditional?
absolutely. I think this is I'm living my best pyro life right now. Like
Oh,
100, like
100%.
like doing the family shows around the Fourth of July is fun and all. You get to do it for your friends and family,
Most
but after a
definitely.
while, that gets like it's more headache than it is worth the time and the effort because in most of those cases
You're doing it
you're doing it
yourself.
yourself. It's usually just me and my wife putting on a 700-800 Q show by ourselves. It's like a day and a half for the setup, and and you really don't have that help and support. And it's just friends and family. It's all out of pocket essentially most of the times. Whereas getting to go to like PGI, Sky Wars, our club events, all this other stuff where there's a lot more camaraderie, a lot more friendships and family, and a lot more experiences, honestly. And so I'd rather spend my money on doing those events and conventions and stuff, other than spending the money on a personal show at once a year, where I can spread it out for several events.
Yeah. So actually, this kind of leads into the next topic, I guess. I know you say normally you do a show, so you say it takes you about a day and a half to prep. What goes into prep for you? Like, what goes into preparation for your show versus doing like a town or a city show?
I mean, there's a lot of prep that a lot of goes there. I mean, if you're doing a paid city show, I mean, there's probably not as much prep goes into that kind of stuff because a lot of times it's fairly generic. Like I'm working two prior musical scripted shows on the third and the fourth this year that I'm running, and it's the same show back to back nights. Um, all that product is going to be prepped ahead of time. So basically, we're going to show up, drop it on the field. It's going to be 2-3 hours worth of work. And you're going to repeat the same thing the next night at a different place. So very much manufactured, kind of simple, easy to kind of set up shows. So it takes fewer people to do. You get to kind of relax most of the day versus if I'm doing a personal show, I'm putting a lot more into it. Um, the club shoot I'm doing in a couple weeks, I've been working on for probably 3 months. You spend a lot more time going in and fine tuning the aspects of it, right? 'Cause if you're just doing just a paid public show, maybe some of those criticalities of timing or you're not going to do like huge runs for those type of shows. You're just trying to just they're paying for just a generic kind of show. Yeah, they don't care if it's Sky Wars quality show. They're just, hey, fireworks, the music, like this is awesome.
Yeah, and it's funny because I mean you say that and like as much as everybody loves fireworks, like you could literally just do a finale and then gas mines at the end, and the crowd would cheer the
Oh yeah,
same.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah,
It's hilarious. Like
yeah,
the 18 minutes of fireworks leading up to it could literally mean nothing.
yeah,
It's the last 50 seconds of the show is what everybody remembers.
yeah. And I think show prep, for a lot, Obviously depends on your crew size, type of show. Um, like I'll be starting to kind of prep things this weekend for a show in 2 weeks for the club shoot I'm doing, and we'll start getting things kind of labeled and um, product matched and and setting aside, and I'll get all of my racks and stuff already set up and get a lot of that stuff done ahead of time. Just it helps kind of ease the process of putting it out there. And then at a club shoot, I'll have a bunch of people helping me that day. And so it makes it a heck of a lot easier when I'm not having to set up every single station by myself. I've got a few people to kind of spread out. And so when I was doing just my personal family shows in the past, it would just be me and my wife. We'd go out there the day before and kind of get everything set up on pallets and prepped and ready to go. And then the day of the 4th of July, you're spending the whole day out there landing everything and finishing touches, and you don't get to really enjoy the holiday, right? Like we're putting on an event for our friends and family at an event that we don't really get to enjoy anymore. Yeah,
Yep.
it's just work.
Yeah, then it does become more work. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and
I
so
feel like it actually becomes more work.
that's why I've kind of getting away from that, and the club shoot this year here in April is essentially kind of my big personal show for the year. It'll just be at the club, but yeah, I mean, I think that is just the big thing for prep is, getting your label stuff, getting product pre-matched, getting your racks, all your single shot racks, angles set, getting product in those, and so that way the day of it's a lot faster to get stuff on the field, and um, if I'm like taking apart cakes and dissecting stuff like that, I'll wait till I'm on the field. I don't do a lot of that ahead of time because I don't like that setting around. Yeah, and doing some of that stuff around here. I'll wait a lot of times if I'm cutting cakes apart until I'm out there on the field. So that way it's open space, a little bit more safer.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I know, I'm prepping the show for closing Cobra-Con, and yeah, same thing. I mean, really, we're racking everything. We're putting everything on slats right now, but I mean, there's no power to it, so it doesn't really bother me to do that.
Are you shunting your
And
slats?
then yeah, we'll actually just keep everything straight up because due to the fact that we're taking everything down with a bunch of other product, we have to placard, so everything does have to be properly packaged. So we are leaving everything just in a 0 degree position essentially, and we'll put them in boxes. And then once we get on site, um, we have it where the actual angle of the firework uh, is right on the top. So it's just a matter of loosening that up, putting all those down at the correct angle, locking that down, and it's done. That whole position is done. So it is a little bit more work on the field than probably what you're doing, but at the same time, say your field is off by 2 degrees, you're already going to have to do some work, whether or not you're going to move your single shots, or you're actually just going to put, maybe say we take end boards and put under them. I know some people just put cardboard or whatever just to level out the aluminum rack if they already have it. But my concern actually is um, the single shot rack jostling around in transport anyways, and maybe that angle gets messed up by a degree. And we all know that, as crazy as it is, like a 1 degree 200 feet in the air is the matter of, I don't remember the correct mathematical
a lot of feet.
It's a lot of feet. Yeah, so it can completely mess it up.
Yeah, we did something similar for Skywars. We set all of our racks straight up and down, and then wrapped them on the pallet to make it sure, because we knew we were gonna have to reset the angles on the site anyway. And so I
what, there's a 14-foot decline.
Yeah, so obviously I think for large scale shows like that, when you have to transport product long distance, it is easier to keep it straight up and down, and then when you get to the site, you set it out, then you can kind of angle it. But if you're just doing a short site that's close to your house or whatever, pre-angling all that stuff ahead of time makes it a lot faster for setup.
So how do you get started scripting?
I just start. I mean, for me, obviously, I think finding music, I think is the first step. You have to kind of put.
what is your steps for finding music?
Listening to you,
Let's start
listening
with
to
step one.
YouTube for weeks on a time. Sometimes, I mean, I have YouTube lists that have all right. These are a bunch of songs, but a lot of times it's random songs, right? So if you're trying to do a theme, I'm trying to go through the YouTube list and find okay, which ones of these can I pair together or three together to create some type of logical theme. Or sometimes I'll go into a show and I'm like, okay, this is a theme I want to do. So now let's go and find the music that matches that theme. And that's what I had to do with the shoot I'm doing here in a couple weeks is I knew the theme I wanted to do, but I didn't have the music already. And so um, I just had to go dig around YouTube for quite a while to find the music that fit my theme.
So, I guess this kind of is another question. Do you pick based on a theme? Do you pick based on your crowd you're playing to? I mean, what are all the deciding factors in the whole music choosing process for you?
Um, Sometimes I think it's partially the crowd. When I was doing just my family shows, I didn't care about a theme. I would go through, pick out about 5 songs that I liked that year, toss them together, and one year it was like patriotic kind of themed music, but another time it was just a bunch of random music that I liked that I tossed together, and it kind of worked. And um, once I got to Sky Wars and realized, oh, we really need a theme. Now I start thinking about themes. And so now every show I do now, I'm like, because I'm shooting to a group of pyros now, and so um, pyros are looking for themes. Like, hey, like what was the theme of that show, or something like that, And so now I start thinking about how can I do the shows as a theme, as another challenge for me. Versus, it's easy to put together random music, right? Like, you can pick out your 3 favorite songs, you can cut them up, mesh them together, put some breaks between them, and run with it. I think it's a lot more challenging when you decide, okay, we're going to do this as the theme. Now let's go find the music that's going to match the theme that I want to do. And so I think that's where the challenge comes is finding that music for your theme.
Yeah, I know. So, kind of little sneak peek into PGI. We actually did something that we were testing testing a theory really. We actually so there's three of us that were picking music. We actually each picked 8 of our favorite songs, and then we came to and we had a discussion board. And for instance, like I would play a song, somebody else would play a song, and then the third person would play the song. And out of each of those three, we would actually rate them 1 to 10 um, on what we thought. Um, so actually, PGI up until man, it was like a week or two after we had picked music. We didn't even have, I guess you would say, a theme or a way that we were going to present these 5 songs because each one of them are completely different. So we were trying to find a way to make a theme with these 5 songs. And I'm not going to give anything away yet because we're still all under wraps. But I think we've actually found a way for this particular show to make it happen um, in a unique way. So I'm pretty excited to see that. But yeah, I mean, it is a lot of people are going to themes. I'll tell you when I did um, Sky Wars in 21, I didn't really have a theme. I kind of had somewhat of a theme in 23. I know I was trying to go for more for like the epic dramatic music, but like I wasn't going for anything like um, I guess like lyrically combining. Like there was no rhyme or reason. They were just 4 or 5 songs that I personally fell in love with, and I felt like they would look really good in designing and presenting. So yeah, I mean, I don't. I will tell you, there is no wrong way of picking music.
Absolutely not. Nope.
Pick what is right for you, and don't listen to critics. Like that is my biggest. I don't even want to call it a pet peeve. Like it's just, it is what it is. Like I get people want to critique music, but the music you pick is who you
Oh,
are.
absolutely. I mean, you
You
can't
know.
script to music you don't like or you don't feel. Like you have to feel the music.
You can, but you won't like what you
absolutely,
do,
yeah.
and neither will the crowd.
Yeah, you have to feel the music and have some investment in the music that you choose. And if you're forcing yourself into a theme because you think everybody expects you to, you're going to end up with music you don't like. You're going to script to it, and then you're going to watch it, and you're going to be like, "Yeah, I didn't like that. I wish I would have done something different." And so, I think it's always important to stick with music that you like, music that you feel passionate about, and that you can connect with, because you're going to be listening to it over and over and over for months and months while you script.
I was just getting ready to say that same thing. Like, make sure when you're listening to music, you can say to yourself, I could listen to this song 1,000 times, because by the end of it, you're probably going to listen to it pretty close to over 800
Yeah,
times.
I mean, I'll listen to a song probably 10 or 15 times before I even decide I'm even going to script with it. Like, I'm listening to it over and over, and I'm visualizing in my head what I want to do at these certain hit points, these certain beats, and I'm like, I want to do this here and this here and this here, and then listen to it, and then maybe after a while you're like, yeah, I'm not really feeling that anymore, so let's just move on to something different, and so you really have to listen to it.
Do you get to a point where you think you're going to like something, and then you put it in finale, and then you're like, I've been working on this area for 4 hours. I'm not doing this anymore. And you just scrap
you'll
the
get in
song?
there and you'll script like some of the hit points, right? You're like, okay, this hit point. So you'll put your comments in there, your slices in there, and then all of a sudden you'll start listening to the rest of it. And you're like, yeah, like I don't really know what to do with the rest of this. Like
Mhm.
I had this grand plan for half the song, and all of a sudden there half the song I have no idea what to do with it. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, it's almost like I mean, I guess some would call it like writer's block, but like scripter's block. Like, it's a real
oh,
thing.
absolutely,
It really
absolutely,
is.
100%,
Like,
yeah.
you'll get to watching it and you're like, nope, I'm not. I can't do it. Like, if I can't watch this, if I can't design it, yeah, somebody else is not going to want to watch it.
Yeah,
So
and even if it's a good song that you want to do, sometimes you'll hit that block occasionally, and um,
that's okay. Just put it on the back
just
burner. Find
walk
another
away,
song. Start scripting another
for a little
song.
bit. We'll move to a different part, come back to it later. Yeah, I will bounce around when I'm scripting. If I have 3 or 4 songs, I'll do a little
Me
bit
too.
each one and kind of bounce back and forth, and then usually at the end I go back through and I kind of do my cake filler at the end if I'm doing cakes and stuff to kind of fill in those gaps and stuff.
So, what part of your show do you start with first when you're designing?
I will always start out with the opener, because normally I'm
Okay.
picking something for specifically to open the show with. I'm like, this is what I want to open my show with, and so I'll usually script that first minute of the show first, and then at that point, then I'll kind of go through. Then I'll start listening and finding the hit points that you want to emphasize.
Yeah.
So just like where you're doing just a single comment hit points, or you're doing multiple comment hit points, and then I'll go back and do like the comment runs. So these are some spots where you want to do some runs of comments or some slices, essentially. And ultimately, the last thing I ever do usually is cakes, because that seems to be the most boring part, and you're just kind of putting some filler in there. Because not all of us can script single shots for your entire song like that. Not everybody has not everybody has the resources or the funds or the budget to be able to match every single shot in your entire show. Like it's hard to do without the budget to be able to do that, right? Like you can do that at Skywars and get away with it. In your personal shows, you're probably not doing that a lot of times. You're using some cakes for filler.
It's funny because like I actually start on the opposite end. So I always script my finale first because I know that's what people are going to remember the most. And then I go back and I start from the beginning and I do that. I script the beginning and then I listen to it and I listen to it and I spot fill and I listen to it and I spot fill and I listen to it and I spot fill. And sometimes I'll feed off, maybe it's 2 days, 3 days down the road. But um, I'm like backtracking and maybe I'll change something I did. Maybe I'll add on. Maybe I'll just completely get to a point and scrap a song and have to throw a whole nother song in there and have to move 400 single shots around or whatever. And it's not a big deal, but um, yeah, sometimes I'll just like feed off of what I'm already scripting. and let that speak to me as to what the next steps are.
Yeah, I like to do that initial like first impression. It's kind of I guess how I kind of feel like it as is like
Yeah,
that opening is the first impression of your show, and then by the time I script the finale, I'm probably already 75% done with the scripting. Yeah, and then obviously you kind of just finish up the finale with stuff you have left over. You start tossing it at the end to kind of get some leftover shells. You just start kind of throwing that stuff up in your finale a lot of times.
yeah. Do you like to do chains for your finale, or are you more of a single shot person?
I'm mostly just single shot. I think everything. I mean, even at Sky Wars, we had a few chains, but not a lot. Everything was mostly just. I mean, I think in a competition, you have the chance of a chain hang firing or maybe breaking your chain somewhere along the way. And so, when we were doing the Sky Wars show, I was advised not to use chains just specifically for that reason because you didn't want something to go off afterwards. But in my personal shows, I usually don't have. I don't shoot a lot of 1-3 anyway, so I don't have access to a lot of chains anyway. So a lot of it's just single
Yeah,
shot stuff.
it's funny. In 21, I told somebody, I was like, yeah, my whole finale single shots, and they're like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I love chains, but I'm going for a certain effect here. And they're like, well, you have those exact effects in chains at RKM, and I'm like, I know, but like you just said, like there is a potential for so many things to go wrong. You know, a hang fire, even putting an E match in every single port or of every single chain, like there's still a chance that you could have something go wrong. And I would rather have a chance of, maybe 2 or 3 matches not hitting. That's 2 or 3 shells as opposed to 2 or 3 chains. So you're talking 3 shells as opposed to up to, potentially 36 shells not going off. Yeah, it's a lot of shells. I mean, it could really, I don't want to say it could break, it could make or break your show, but it could. It really could make or break your show.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going for an effect where you have like a lot of willows at the end, you could potentially put up a lot of willow chains or something, or you could, and if your chains don't work, then all of a sudden you don't have all that willow effect that you're looking for.
So, permits. This was brought up in Discord, so I appreciate whoever brought this up. Donnie, do you want to start? I know you're not as familiar with permits. I'm not
No, I mean,
the greatest at it, but what's your insight?
yeah, I know. I mean, in a club we have shoots. I mean, we have some club shoots we have to pull permits, and I think for us it really depends on where you live, depends on what the requirements are, right? So each state has their own requirements as well as maybe your county or your city or
In Michigan, yep, it's every city, every county is different.
yeah, and I mean, I'm in Missouri where it's lax, and we'll have K-cap shoots where we don't even need to pull a permit. They're like, we don't do a permit, we don't even have permits. Like, just give us a phone call. You're shooting fireworks, and that's good. That's all we need. Like, and so, um, if you're out there and if you are doing, like a 1-3 show or a public show, and you need to get permits, I would just recommend, contacting whoever the local fire department is for wherever you're doing that show, whether it's a local city or local county. Contact the fire department. They will usually direct you to whether it's them or whether you need to go up in contact from the county or your state fire marshal as well.
Yeah, because believe me, if they don't want to deal with it, they don't want to have to deal with it. They're going to direct you to the person that is going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the last thing you want to do is be shooting without a permit and something happen and somebody get hurt, and then the fire marshal comes out and you didn't have a permit. Now you're in trouble because you were doing something without a permit. So
Yeah, and say you're a lead, like, say you're shooting for a display company. That display company should have a show manager that handles all the permitting, handles all the insurance. Um, you know, the company should have an umbrella insurance that covers however many shows with that minimal, maybe it's $5 million or $10 million insurance policy. They're going to cover that show anyways. So, as much as, everybody doing your own backyard show is great, fine, and dandy. Yeah, try and get with a local display company and try and do your displays through them as opposed to um, doing something on your own. I know, with potential rule changes coming with ProLine, locally it's always been that you have to have a permit to shoot any ProLine. But I know in some other states it's changing, and there's been a little bit of backlash on that. And I guess not to sound arrogant or cocky, but I mean, there's a reason it's called pro line, right? You need to be a professional shooting these shows, shooting these effects, shooting these cakes, whatever it might be. Um, and being a professional, you should have the knowledge enough to figure out how to pull your own permit and insurance. Usually, insurance only is going to cost you about 10% of what your product costs, right? So if you're shooting $5,000 in product, pulling a $500 permit to potentially save your life, your event goers' lives, um, damage of property that you're shooting on, like it could be minimalistic to none for the amount of damage that, even a $1 million insurance policy is going to cover. So, really strongly encourage everybody to get insurance. I am not an insurance broker. I gain nothing from this. Really, I don't. I gain a sense of um, security of mind, pulling permits. So, again, this is not me gaining anything from this because we don't even, I mean, we used to do what we'd call ship show insurance or, yeah, or whatnot. And we don't even do that anymore. It's just a liability deal. So, you have to contact your local insurance company. I believe, don't quote me on this. I want to tell you State Farm does it. Not 100% who else does it, but um, if you have an insurance policy on your home, which you should, I would most definitely get with them, with your agent, see if you can pull um, and normally they're not even going to consider it like a firework
Yeah,
insurance.
choose like a
They would
general
consider it,
liability policy a lot of times. Yeah,
yeah, like a general
yeah,
liability or like an event insurance on your property. So, most definitely strongly suggest doing
yeah.
that.
And like
Yeah.
you mentioned, working with like display companies, they pearl the permits, they do handle that for you, and working for those gets you also in contact. A lot of times, you might see the AHJ at those events, and helps create some additional contacts with you with whoever the AHJ is for those events, and
Oh, for
yeah, you can
sure.
actually kind of see who
And
those
and
people
seeing
are.
a company's name backing your name a lot of the time actually puts a sense of higher security in your local AHJ because um, you know, with being with that company, they know that they have um, a reputation to uphold. Whereas, just a general Joe Blow from Kokomo might not actually, have that reputation, uh, for better or for worse. So, most definitely.
So our next
Yep.
Discord topic here we came up, and we'll probably talk more about this as we go throughout the season. Is storage.
Yeah.
Storage. How do
Storage.
you store your fireworks, David?
Keep them at RKM, of course. I actually do have a storage container um, off property, and I store most of my stuff there. I do keep some stuff in a garage, but it's not like crazy.
Do you have 1.3 storage, or do you have just 1.4?
No, I don't. Yeah, it's all just 1.4. Yeah. I'm not. I'm not to a point where I feel comfortable enough getting a Type 54 and letting anybody walk into my house. For those of you do, kudos to you. Nothing wrong with it. I suggest to anybody and everybody, if you want to get into fireworks, yeah, get your Type 54. Um, just for me, I don't want to get it yet. So nothing wrong with it. Like I said, if I was in a different situation and different place in my life, more than likely would. But being that I work at RKM, being able to do shows, being able to pull a permit, get insurance already, there's not really, I guess there's not really a point in me getting that because if I need, like I said, if I need to do a show or whatever, it's, I can get it. It's not like the end of the world.
Yeah,
So,
like for me, like I have a Type 54, but I use contingency storage, so I have to rely on the vendor I'm buying from to be my storage. So if I purchase product and I have anything left over after the night, I've got to call them and make the arrangements to return stuff. Like it's or I have to fire it or dispose of it properly after the show, and so it makes it a little bit more of a challenge if you're wanting to do 1.3. If you don't have your own storage, you are relying on contingency storage from another provider, and so um, yeah, I mean it's so that's just the one aspect of it. I mean, if you have your own storage and you want to deal with all that, that's great. If you got the space, a lot of people use storage containers and stuff like that for their magazines. And but yeah, it's all just independent on what it is that you're trying to store. But for 1.4 stuff, yeah, like you said, garage storage, outbuildings is perfect for that kind of stuff. And you can store product year round. I mean, fireworks can set year round out inside your storage building on a pallet. As long as they're staying dry, they're going to be perfectly fine.
And it's crazy because, people are always worried about, is it going to be too hot? Is it going to be too cold? Too cold? No. The only time that heat's an issue is when it's a live flame. So I will tell you, we have storage bunkers somewhere, and inside of there, I am not kidding you, it can get upwards of 150 degrees, and the humidity level in there is atrocious. It does not affect them. The only thing that's going to really affect them is the moisture. Um, the heat is not going to cause a
I mean,
problem.
they
So
ride
don't
around
let
in a
that.
storage container across the ocean in the middle of the summer, and
Right,
they don't
exactly.
they don't combust spontaneously in the middle of the ocean.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean those. Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine how hot those containers are coming over the ocean.
Yeah,
Ugh,
fireworks do not light themselves, by the way.
that's correct. That is correct. All right. Current events. So I know we've already talked about it. I'm going to be at Cobra-Con. Anything else you have coming up?
No, outside. I mean, like I said, it's got a club shoot coming up in a couple weeks, and if you're a part of KCAP, I might have some stickers that pass out for KCAP members if you show
Yeah.
up. So
As soon as I get them in, they're going to be heading your
yeah, I've
way.
got some
So
on. I've got
yeah,
some
looking
coming
forward
as
to
well.
that.
So we'll have some
Yeah, that's
stickers,
right.
and
Yeah.
then I know later in April, we'll be out at Spirit of 76 for their demo and KCAT versus Mo Pyro shoot, and I'll be out there for that. I might have some Pyro Unleashed stickers and business cards to hand out there potentially. So
And what was the date on that
that one
again?
is April 27th or 24th. It's the same day that everything is. Yeah, it's the same
27th.
day that
Yep.
everything is happening on.
Everybody's doing
Yeah.
demos that day. Yep. Same deal for us. Yep. We're going to have our shooter training, and then we're also going to have our demo. It's going to be 1.4, 1.4 Pro, and 1.3. And then I know I've been talking to James, and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do to close the night off. Normally we do a musical, but with the way everything's kind of laying out, um, at Cobra-Con, I know we're, like I said, we're doing Dominator's national anthem. We're doing the closing show, and then we're actually both co-teaching a class. Which if you're a part of anything from Cobra-Con, you'll be seeing all that in the agenda that's on there. I believe the class is Saturday, 3:45 to 4:45, and we'll be discussing the closing show, what product we picked, why we picked certain items, why we picked the soundtrack we did, um, just things of that nature. So it should be a really good class. Yeah, looking forward to it. A little bit of a little nervous on it. I haven't ever, I guess, um, taught a class, so it's going to be
Should
intriguing.
be, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I know that if you're in the Missouri area, I know on April 6th, Snyder's up in St. Joe, they're doing their annual fireworks demo. So anybody who's in northern Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, that's a good little demo to go to catch some product.
So that'll be the weekend when this
Yeah,
releases,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Yeah,
right after this
good
releases.
stuff.
So if you guys are hearing it, you'll be able to. I know you can have to go on like RSVP or something like that, but that should be a great demo they have up there every year. So absolutely. And then I think we have coming up next week. Our guest is going to be Pyroland. Did I hear that? Did I hear that
Pyroland,
correctly?
yeah. You did hear that correctly. Yep. Joel at Pyroland. Yep. We're really looking forward to that. Unfortunately, we won't be able to accept any more requests for comments or anything. We've already recorded that. But yeah, really looking forward to what Joel says. I know he's got some new product in the works. Really looking forward to seeing that. I think Pyroland's going in a really great direction, and um, yeah, I'm really really happy with um, being able to talk to Joel over there. Um, Great people over there, honestly, genuinely. Like, if you can do any business with them, help them grow, help them expand. 100%. I support them, and I know you do as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you see,
I really
yeah,
request.
if you see them at PGI, man, always stop over there in their booth and chat with them, because they will talk. They will.
You can get in there if they're not too
Yeah,
busy.
if they're not busy. If you get in there at the end of the week when there's no product left and they have time to stand around and talk, that's a good time to get in and talk with them. But yeah, they'll talk to you about their product and everything and all that kind of stuff. I know that in the interview with Joel, we did get some exclusive information about a show they're shooting, and
we
so
did.
You guys will hear about that next week.
Yeah, a couple shows that they're shooting.
So they got a busy year this year. So
yeah, most definitely. So looking forward to that, and then let's see, the week after that will be just you and I talking.
Because you'll be at Cobra-Con at that time. So
I will be at Cobra-Con that time. Yeah, we're gonna be. Should be a good one.
And then we're gonna be lining up the second half of the season. So
you're gonna be lining up the second half of the season.
Looking good.
It's already filling fast. It's crazy.
It is. Been filling up quick. So
yeah, lots of great people. Some familiar faces or some familiar voices, I guess. So won't let the cat out of the bag on too many more. But in a couple of weeks we're gonna have Scott Shue from Wisconsin coming on. That's a really great conversation. Love talking about the Pyro Club over there in Wisconsin. His shows that he's done, some experiences he has had. Really great content coming out. So
definitely looking forward to the second half of the season, and everybody. And we appreciate all of our listeners and everybody out there, and come over and hop on Discord with us, guys, and chat it up, introduce yourselves, and just have some. If you have questions, feel free to reach out and let us know. And
yeah, actually, it's funny. We're sitting here chatting, and my Discord is just blown up. A lot of people are talking, so it's great to see everybody chatting it up over there. Looks like John was over there. He was asking if we're
for the secret chat.
Have a secret chat. Going, so huge shout out to John.
And Zach's waiting on me to finish up recording because him and I need to talk about some stuff. So. Yeah, that's why. Okay. That's how he knows we're recording right now.
All right.
All right. Well, hey guys, thanks for listening another week. Next week, we'll see you guys all next week with Joel from Pyroland. And in the meantime, go out and unleash your inner pyro.
This has been another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Come back each week for more industry insights, technical tips, and awesome pyro designs. Have fun out there, be safe, and as always, remember to unleash your inner pyro with us.